I'm here at Cow Creek with all my famous YouTube friends and Danny. Larry, sorry. This creek here. It's just a cold, nasty affair, and I ain't got no more socks, and nobody else does either. It's beautiful though. Say hi, Gage, to my 60 viewers. My 60 friends. Going up there. Starting to veer away from the creek now, or from the mountain at that pass there. And it's looking like we might have to de-shoe and just walk it, which would be absolutely frigid.
It is like super hot, it wouldn't matter. It would feel good if it was super hot.
Yeah.
I said it'd feel good. I know, I might even lay down.
I'd go prone and swim across.
Yeah.
Somebody had the right idea. But like, that's what I'm just saying, like from experience, I'd rather had micro spikes and an axe and new tips on my poles. You want to be on YouTube? Did you get you for waiting for me? Yeah, Jack?
Yeah.
Forester Pass, baby. All right. Woo. Dumbest thing I've ever done. Most underprepared thing I've ever done in my life. That's what I should say. Most underprepared. There's Owens Valley. What's up, YouTube friends I've met along the way? 3 months later, two months later, the last scene was at the end of May. I did Forester Pass, then I stayed at the Hostel California in Bishop with my friends and came back to the trail without them because they were on a much tighter schedule and I needed extra time. And by then, I think there was a myriad, a coalition of ideas, coalition of problems, or however you put that, that was the reason why I got off trail. That was it. That was the end. I went and stared at, what was that? I don't remember, Green Pass or Green something, the next pass after Forester going north. And, you know, with fresh emotional trauma from Forester without an ice axe. And guys, look, listen, there was a guy ahead of me, just feet ahead of me, that did it without an axe. He had an axe and I think he had some spikes or something, but he didn't use them. He did it ahead of me. He did it without it. He said, I never felt unsafe. I said, bro, listen, I've done a lot of skiing. I've fallen a lot skiing, and I've fallen down, 1,000 feet. Maybe not quite as steep as Forester. That was pretty treacherous, but it destroys your clothes typically, especially when it's covered in ice. It was dangerous. He didn't know it, and he never slipped, thank God. But it's not, you fall on boulders, you break bones. That's one thing. Your bones typically stay inside you. When you slide down ice and it goes through all three layers of your clothes and then your skin, you tend to bleed. and it is dangerous. Be careful, guys. Uh, I got done with that, came back from my 4 days off, and I stared at Green Pass, and I camped there for 2 days, and I was just like, nah, I'm over it. I'm not even burned out this year. Okay, I was burned out before it around Tehachapi, but and the Sierras were spectacular. I mean, I'm just getting into the good stuff there. As you saw, the uh, Goat Horn Plateau or whatever it's called, and then it just got better and better until Kearsarge, and I'm a little, I'll be back. We'll do the whole thing eventually, but it's it was a combination of altitude. I wouldn't say sickness, but just like being totally worn out because I don't know what it is. I've only ever spent a couple days at that altitude before in my entire life until this point, and so that was like a whole week at that altitude, and it's just every day I was getting incrementally weaker and less capable, and I don't know if that's a lack of fitness or if that's actually what happens. I don't know a whole lot of people that do that kind of stuff, and I've never heard anybody talk about it. I didn't feel sick. I didn't really feel lightheaded or like incapacitated or anything like that. Going up Forester, I did, but on the other side, coming down, like once I cleared myself of all the physical strain, it was fine mentally, and I felt fine at rest, but it was definitely a lot of freaking work. When you get going again, I mean, just 1,700 feet at 6,000 feet vertical or elevation, 1,700 vertical climb at 6,000 is a lot of work, but at 11,000 it's a lot more work and you're just not as capable, and the air is very thin. It's if you're not at a total rest, it for me personally, it made me feel like I was just slightly suffocating all the time. And it wore down on me after a week of being up past 10,000 feet. And Gadget, who the guy I mentioned to say hi, also had altitude problems. Not as bad as me, but it caused him to quit somewhere up near Bishop, I believe, up north near Apache Pass or whatever that is next up there. and and so he's going to return next year, and I'm probably going to do the same. I would like to be able. This is my goal. I got it was a combination of issues, reasons why I quit. Like I was for the last 3 weeks before that, I was looking at my 12-mile days, and I did a couple 20s, but I wanted to be able to do a solid 20 miles every single day, because if you do 20 miles every day and take 3 days off for rest every 2 weeks, which was my goal, uh, I'd be at like 5.5 months of walking. I'm like, that's maximum I can do at any given time. Like I didn't graduate from college. Haven't held down a job in quite a few years. I'm not disciplined for that kind of stuff. 2.5 months is like my upper limit. 6, I mean, again, like I just can't do that. Anyways, so I'm gonna have to, if I can look at it from 20 miles a day and then take it like a month off in the middle, maybe I can do something like that in the future. But I have to be able to do I have to be able to do 20, 30 miles a day. So I'm working on it. Last year I was able to do a couple 10s. This year I did a couple 20s. Maybe next year I can do a couple 30s. And then once I'm able to put down 20 miles every day and maybe get a couple of 30s in once in a while, I think I'll try for the whole trail. But till then, I'm going to start in the Sierras next year at Kearsarge and try and do the rest of the Sierras sometime in the midsummer so there's not too much snow. Although I did have an epiphany. Like I was walking up there and I was thinking, I've hiked up stuff like this before, but not quite as treacherous. This was a new level for me. It was slick. There were virtually no tracks. I mean, I needed spikes and an axe. I bought spikes and an axe, but I never used them. So next time I will definitely bring those. I want to do a cross country because okay, so when I came down Forester on the other side, there was a big old, and I don't think I got it. You can see it in that clip where I show the sign, kind of, but I didn't get any on the way down, any footage because it was quite treacherous and I was totally worn out. I didn't want to complicate things. I didn't want to complicate things on the way up. Didn't want to complicate things on the way down. If I'd have done a couple more passes, it might have manifested into video, but it didn't. So, but so on the way down, there was a nice like a black diamond for like 4 miles down, and that would have been great with skis. And I was thinking maybe next time I go either in the wintertime a little bit earlier and take some skis and maybe um, some snowshoes, and then the spikes and axe for whatever, and do it, or wait until it's all melted. So I haven't 100% decided, but that's what I'm gonna do next year. Maybe I'll meet up with Gadget again and some other people I met along the way. But uh, yeah, so it was like altitude. It was timing really. I was just like kind of like getting to that point where I was telling people I want to keep going. I'm never gonna stop because I'm being positive. I'm trying to be I'm trying to be whatever you call that, toxic positivity or whatever, and inspire other people. Ben wrote an article about me and posted it on one of the trail pages. It was very nice, very flattering. I thought it was, he characterized me, making me look like a legend, and just he did a good job. He did a really good job. Um, Staff is the legend, though, man. That guy has gone the entire trail without money, basically, like just being a nice guy, and people have helped him out, and he did it without an axe and or spikes. So, dude's a legend, and bald shoes and cheap gear. That dude's a legend. So, I'm sitting here on the couch at home uh, right now, and I've gained like 30 pounds back already out of the 60 that I lost. The issue was, I would say, altitude. I was a little bit scared. I mean, I can always overcome the fear if the desire to do it is there. Like, I have no problem doing something that's terrifying and dangerous if the desire is there. But, I'm at the altitude. The altitude's really affecting me. Um, and I had brand new shoes too, which was great. But I wasn't feeling it. I didn't feel that flow, that direction. When you do something, you can kind of see it in your head before you do it. And even though it doesn't go the same way as you see it in your head, it just wasn't there for me anymore. It was like, this is it. I'm done. I need to go back home. I need to work. I didn't have the budget to stick around for like 2.5 weeks, which is what it took me to like fully recover and be all right again. And I had a slow tear going on in my calf that when I came back, I ran like 3 or 4 times, and I really fucked it up, and I haven't been able to run. It's been 2.5 months now since the trail, and I haven't run in like a month or done any exercise because it really fucked me up. And so the slow tear turned into a really bad tear, and then I let that heal. So I'm really glad I honestly didn't keep going because it may have been physically detrimental to me. And then the budget thing, and then the miserableness of hiking through altitude for a long period of time, and I'd my friends took off because they were on a tighter schedule than me, and um, physically, if that makes any sense. Like I didn't have the budget to stick around for 2 or 3 weeks. I had to keep going, but also they were on a tighter schedule than me. So I don't know how that make sense, but it does in my head. But it was good hiking with everybody, meeting everybody over the months. Christine, uh, uh, the various trail angels that helped me out. Larry, Danny, um, Gadget. Super, super grateful for Gadget. Waiting for me on the way up, and I was ripping his ear up about. I was upset, and I appreciate him listening and being a nice guy. And what was the other guy's name at the top there? And Danny and um, staff and the guy I met at Christine's house. Uh, Anyways, it's been a while, guys. I'm sorry. I apologize. I love you all. Ben Crawford and his family. Um, Very gracious, very friendly, very way more capable than I thought because they climbed that stuff in sandals. They did they did the snowfield in sandals, and my feet were freezing, and I just can't imagine what it was like. I mean, they had neoprene socks, so maybe it was better for them. Maybe I ought to do something like that. But anyways, here now at home, I've been working on something. Let's go look at it. When I came back, my dad petitioned me to help him unload my grandparents' house. They'd passed away and recently, and we were trying to, you know, uh, divide their estate or whatever you want to call it. So as soon as I came back, my sister's like hit me with this. Do you have or she's like, I got this Jeep that I need to get rid of. Her ex-boyfriend. He says he'll sell it to you for a song and a dance. And I don't have a reliable vehicle. I have the van, which actually is reliable, but it gets like 8 miles to the gallon. So, and you know, Jeep is not exactly reliable either. But this one's pretty good, and it's in great shape, and it's full of stuff now because I've been busy. Got my backpack. It's got the 5.7 Hemi, and that was like a big part of it for me. I was like, well, yeah, it's a good motor. I'll take that for a song and a dance. And so, ball hitch. I bought a travel trailer, and it's okay. It was $1,500, and this is a long-term goal for me, is to get out of here forever. And I made the mistake of being a teenager and not doing this first. This is what I should have done absolutely first, is buy a travel trailer. I did have a camper in like 2020 when COVID hit and I went to Colorado, but that it was broken. The frame was broken, and I compounded the problems by driving off-road in my truck, and I basically wore out my truck too, and so that was a bad deal. But here we are now. Travel trailer. The van is on hold because this is more my speed. I'm a big guy, I need space. I lived in the van off and on since 2020, traveling the West Coast here, but it is locked also, and I don't have my keys, and it's on hold. I did do some work to it this spring though, when I got back, before and after. I did I bought a sewing machine, and we did a window shield, or whatever you want to call it. Bought a new air conditioner because the other one got wet and fried. And this is just getting rid of all my stuff. Here's the rest of the four-wheel drive, and the cases in the back, and all my accruation, my whatever you want to call it, my taking on of junk over the years. This is the culmination of all the junk that cars I've worked on, and just getting rid of it. If you live in Washington, come pick it up. It's free. You can have everything. Brand new tank, pressure tank for a small well. If you pick up everything, you can have the catalytic converter. That's probably $200. I just want it all gone, man. I'm moving on with my life. I should have been a traveler and a hiker when I should have started doing it in 2011 when I first started thinking about this stuff. But I didn't, so here we are. But anyways, long conversation. Thank you for watching. Yeah, we'll get into it next year. We'll get into it later this year. I've got plans for Idaho or Montana. Hello, Squeaker. The handsomest Squeaker. Hello, Squeaker. Say hi to the boys and girls. He's a nice boy. He pees everywhere, though. But we'll get into it. I'm trying to think. I don't honestly know what my plan is. My permanent plan. My most important thing is to get that livable and be living in that by the time summer is over, and that means roof. It leaks, and personalizing it, moving all my stuff in there. And then once I do that, I'm getting stuff out of the basement, and I'm getting stuff out of the shop, and condensing it down as small as I can get. And so when my parents move, I can just put it in a storage unit and travel. So I don't know if I'm gonna go south for the winter or north. I honestly was hoping the van would be done like about a year and a half ago now. Like last July was my goal to have everything done, but that never happened. And then I was going to take off to Alaska and try and survive the winter, and that never happened either. It's still very high on my list, but so do the trailer. I don't know if I'm going to go south this winter or what I'm going to do, or stick around maybe. I don't know. But I do want to try the standard homeless thing, which is working and living in the woods. I bought an electric bicycle as well, so travel to work on that and live, move every 14 days for a little while and see how that goes. And if it gets too cold, I'll go south or whatever. I'd like to have the four-wheel drive done this winter so I can do some exploring. But the Jeep has four-wheel drive and it tows the trailer, so it basically just replaced the van in its entirely. The trailer and the Jeep replaced the van. So, van is great. It's small. It get in and out of places. I really want to put 40s on it and make it like a rock crawler and do like local trips. And I've built the back out for tools and stuff so I can do remote repair. I think that's kind of where I'm headed. That's what I want to do. But anyways, that's it, guys. Peace. Thank you.